Okay, so in this video, I'm going to teach you guys entry candlestick confirmations. Okay, so let's just jump straight into it. I'm just gonna go ahead and find the first one. So let's talk about engulfing candles first. Okay, so when we talk about candlestick confirmations, you want to always identify this inside of a POI, point of interest. Okay, depending on when you watch this video or how it's organized, you might not be able to know like the full setup, but just understand that you'll be able to use this, or you're going to be using this inside of a POI. If you don't understand what a POI is, I explain it later on in the video, so don't worry too much about it. Just understand how to identify the different entry candlesticks. Okay, so engulfing candle, right? So let me actually go back to default and make sure you understand this. So you guys should have already learned the candlestick anatomy. So very simple. There is bullish engulfing candles and bearish engulfing candles. So for the bullish engulfing candles, you always want to compare the candle to the right to the left. Okay. If we're comparing this, you want to compare the right to the left. If you're comparing this candle, you want to compare it to the right to the left. Okay. So we're going to compare these two candles, right? Now, for it to be a bullish engulfing candle, the one on the right, the body has to be bigger than the one on the left. The one on the right has to engulf on the left. Excuse me. So since this is a bullish candle, it's engulfing this right here. Okay. This lets you know that buyers are in control of the market. Okay. So if you look at what happens, right, it comes back down. It doesn't break this low, but it comes back up. This lets you know that what, buyers are in control. Okay. Now, what does this say right here? This right here is a bearish engulfing candle. Look what happens afterwards. It goes down, right? Boom. Okay. So clearly understand how to identify a bullish and bearish engulfing candle. If you're still confused, just rewind the video and, just keep on watching it until you are able to identify yourself, and also go on the chart and do it yourself too. Now, the next thing we're going to identify is called, now I don't use this for, actually no, because I already explained that inside exhaustion. I explained that in one of the videos. The other entry candlestick that I use is called bullish or bearish tips. Okay, so like I said, it has to be inside of a POI. But let me go ahead and, okay, so for instance, let's say this right here. Let's just say this was a POI, right? Boom, boom. Actually, no, that's not a good example. Let me look for one. Okay, so I see one right here. So now, let's just say we have two candles, right? One's bearish and one's bullish. So I'm going to make this bearish, and then I'm going to make this bullish. Actually, no, I'm going to make this bullish and the other one bearish. So let's say we have two candles, right? And the body is the same, okay? Like I don't want you guys to get confused. There's called bullish tips and bearish tips. If you're looking at bearish tips, write this down. You want to be looking at it. You want to be looking at the top part, right? The top part. That means that the bottom can be like kind of weird. Like the top part, the top body has to be equal to each other, or at least near equal, like right there or right there. Okay. Like look at this. The body of the top is the same. Not really the bottom, but the first thing you need to understand is if you're looking at a bearish tips, the top portion of the body has to be equal or kind of equal, like that. Okay, that's fine, but not like that. That doesn't qualify as it. Okay, it has to be near it. Okay, kind of near it. Not really like that, but like kind of like that. Okay, or it can be up top, like right here, a little bit. Just relatively equal or equal. Okay, then, excuse me, then you have to make sure. I have to draw this a little bit different. I have to draw it like that. Cool. Okay, good. So now You have to this. So that's the first thing about the bodies, right? So this body could be like right there, okay? Then the second thing you have to identify is the wick of the one on the right is larger than the one on the left, okay? So this wick is larger than this. So now let's kind of put these two together, right? So let's look for a bearish tips, okay? Let's see here. So let's look at this. You see the bodies, right? The bodies of the top has to be equal or kind of equal. The one on the bottom doesn't matter. Look at the wick on the right compared to the one on the left. This wick is longer than this. So that's a bearish tips. You would enter on the next candle. Okay, you would enter on the next candle. Okay, and then put your stop loss right above that wick and then target. So honestly, I want you to use the setup of where to put your stop loss and where to put your targets. So, but don't worry about what I just said about putting your stop loss above these wicks. That's how to use it without the setup, but we're using it with the setup. So follow the stop loss and TP, knowing where to exit if you lose and knowing where to exit when you win. Follow that direction because I explain it. And you're just targeting fair value gaps, liquidity, and OBs. So anyways, moving on. So that's bearish tips. Now let's look for a bullish tips. Now look at this. You see that? Look at the wick. Look at the bottom of the body. You see the top of the body is completely not equal, but look at the bottom, right? If you see what I look for, I just look for long wicks. Like if I see a long wicks, like okay, these two are together, but look, the one on the right is not bigger than the one on the left, right? So and it even goes up. So like look at this, right? The one on the right is bigger than the one on the left, right? So honestly, we most likely would have got stopped out right here because there is no low to put your stop loss. You're probably not going to understand until you watch how to enter, but you would just get right back in right there, right? Put your stop loss at the low wherever that's going to be, but there is no low. And then just target the highs, right? You can target that could be TP1, TP2, but I'm going a little bit more in depth. You guys don't really understand that yet, but yeah. So, anyways, that is bullish tips and bearish tips. Now the last thing is kind of I like it a lot. Okay, it's called bullish and bearish tweezers, right? So I'm going to just pull this up, go to an image. So when you see it like going bearish, right? And let's say this is a POI. Remember, we're always using POIs, point of interest, when we're using these entry confirmation stick candles, right? So let's say this is a POI and it's bearish, right? You see this bearish candle and you see this wick, and then you see this bullish candle and you see this wick. This shows you that sellers came and then they got tired, buyers came in the market, and then again sellers started to come back down and they got rejected twice and it ended up bullish. So that is just a candle confirmation stick candle and you're expecting it to go up. This is tweezer tops. You expect it just going up and then you see bullish and then bearish and then the wicks right there. So let's find that on the chart. And sometimes, to be honest, I don't really see it like perfect, I guess you could say. Sometimes you'll probably see like engulfing candle, like this right here is a bearish engulf, right? This right here is the bearish tweezers, right? Look at those wicks. It doesn't have to be long, as long as you see it like it came bullish, have a wick, and then bearish, and it has a wick, right? Cool. Now let's look for a bullish. Look at this, right? Right there. Okay. Look at the wicks. Let's say this is a POI. Okay, let's look for another one. We'll do two more examples, and then we're going to call it a day. Okay, this right here. Boom, boom. But I want to show you a really good example, right? So look at this. Watch this, right? Let's use market structure, okay? I'm not sure where you guys are in the video because I still have to organize the videos, but if you've watched market structure, you would know we're now going down, okay? I don't think you guys have seen that video yet. So we're going down. That's the direction where price is going. We know our POI, okay? This is an OB right here, and it's a fair value gap, but I'm just using this as an example, right? The POI is right there. Okay, now look at this. What do we see? I could have swore I saw it somewhere. Let's see. It's on 3 minute. Okay, so you can even see it right here. Like, look at the wicks. The wicks aren't exactly equal, but what else do we see? We see a bearish tips, right? That's what I like. That's what I like about it, because you can, if you don't see one thing, you can see the other, right? That's a POI. Let's say we're right here. Okay, cool. You enter on the next candle, right? Put your stop loss above these highs and target these lows. Now, you guys haven't seen how to really get in and out of trades, but even if you get stopped out, that's fine. You just literally get right back in once you see another confirmation entry candle. So we would have won that trade, and that's a 2.53 RR. Okay, so those are the confirmation candles. Make sure you go in the chart and you see it for yourself. And then at the end, when you tie everything together, you're going to be able to just be a successful trader if you follow each steps. Okay, good luck, guys.